Welcome to Cherryblossom Yoga. I'm Robin Dinerman. This is a half-hour Hatha Yoga class for beginning and continuing students. In this class, we're going to focus on warming up the joints, and I hope you'll follow along. A lot of this can be done seated. If you're able, please stand and give it a try. If you'd like to watch the show and just follow along with the breathing, that's fine just as well. You can watch it later at the station website at mmctv.org and look for Cherryblossom Yoga. You'll see a number of classes listed there, so join me at any time on your computer. We're going to get started warming up the joints from the bottom up. So if you take one foot off the floor and just kind of lightly stretch your toes, pressing the toes, and then if you turn them under and press from the little toe down to the big toe. So be gentle with your toes and turn it back over and then switch to the other foot, stretching the backs of the toes. And then turn the toes under and press from one toe, the big toe, down to the little toe. If you're having balance issues, you could hold on to a chair, stand near a wall, and then use just a finger to touch for your balance, or use your whole hand. It's not cheating. So we'll roll back and forth on the balls of the feet. Arms go forward, legs go back, knees forward, arms back. So we're getting a little bit of movement now into the shoulders. And then we're going to go back to the feet, and we're going to roll outward and inward. You'll feel this in the knees, in the hips as well. And then we're going to separate the feet wider than hip distance, which is how we usually stand and start. So my feet, I'm about 5'2". My feet are about 2.5 feet apart. I'm simply going to shift my weight from one leg to the other, gently and softly and carefully bending each knee. Now for me, when I do this knee bend, I like to have my toes pointed outward slightly. Some people will do it with the toes forward. I'm kind of feeling my way here. I'm okay with it. So take your time. Try to keep your spine really erect, your shoulders above the hips. You can feel this in the calves, maybe a little bit in the knees, the muscles around the knees. You can go much more slowly if you wish. So now you may be feeling some warmth in around the knees into the ankles. Then we're going to place the hands on the hips and do, I just made this name up, around the world. Might actually be right. So I'm going to point the tailbone north, south, east, and west and go in a big circle. I can feel this into my hips. It's not discomfort, it's just I feel it. For some people, they might feel pain, so you want to really listen to your body. So this is a little bit of a warm-up for the lower back. It's not a big move, and then we'll reverse direction and go around the other way. And if you have music on like I do, sometimes I find myself going to the rhythm of the music, which might be a little too brisk for a warm-up movement. So again, listen to your body. So we're going around. Then another version is called the hula. So you're just shifting your hips from side to side. Notice how your knees are bending. And then we're going to turn to one side. I'm going to look at what would be the end of the mat. I don't have a wall to look at, but you're turning. It's a 90-degree turn to each side. As I'm turning to the right, my left knee bends. And back to center. And now place one hand on top of the other with the hands and the elbows at shoulder height. Take a breath in. Now we're twisting again to the right or your left, either way. And then inhaling back to center, exhaling as you twist. So you're turning toward the ends of your mat. Inhale, center, exhale, turn. One more time on each side. Now this is giving a little bit more twist into the lower back area. Then we're going to open the arms at shoulder height and then turn again to the right. This time turn your head and look out over the arm that's in back. Return to center, star position, and turn to the other side. And turn your head and look out over the hand. Inhale back to center. Exhale as you turn. And then turn the head. Inhale center. Exhale turn. And turn the head. So now you're getting the twist in the cervical spine, in your neck, which I hope feels good. And back to center. Bring the palms up over your head. You can link the thumbs. Try to pull the shoulders back or the elbows back in line with the shoulders. And here's the twist again. Twisting. Now really turn your head, peek over the shoulder. Try to avoid having the hands drop. That's what I see happen in class. So try to lift those arms. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting to the other side. Turn your head, peek over the shoulder. And come back to center. And let the arms separate, let the hands sink down, and gravity pulls your arms down to your sides. We're going to come forward in standing bend with the legs still apart. So place your hands inside of the elbows. Take a breath in. And exhale, tuck your chin in. Bend your knees. I've got a pretty good bend going. And I'm going to lift the sit bones, tuck my chin in, and let gravity pull my head, shoulders, and arms down. Keep breathing. And release your arms. So I have my knees pretty deeply bent, and I've got the hands down right in front of the shoulders. I'm going to heel tilt outward a little bit more, and then again the knee bends. I'm being very careful. I do have my feet turned out because that's much more comfortable for my knees. Side to side. And this knee shouldn't go farther than the toes. Mine is actually more in line with the middle of the foot. So if this is too fast for you, you could also go like half as fast as I'm going. Now, I'm going to walk my hands over to one leg, take a breath, and then exhale, and I'm sliding the thigh underneath the armpit, lowering my head. My knees are about 98% straight, and I'm going to lift the sit bones. Pressing down evenly through both feet. And then walk my hands back to center, all the way around to the other leg, tucking the thigh under the armpit. Breathing in first, and then exhaling and sinking down. So with this, you're stretching the backs of the legs, the lower back area. You're bringing a fresh supply of blood to your face and your brain. Can you feel your heart beating? Then arm over arm to center. Hands in front of the shoulders with the fingers spread. I'm going to heel toe back to Tadasana. So the feet are hip distance apart. And then I'm going to press the feet into the floor. Come up about halfway in ragdoll. Turn a little bit here. And then pressing the feet into the floor, big inhale up. And open your arms, open the heart, lift the chest, look across the room if you're inside, look up at the sky if you're outside. Big breath in, then exhale, bending knees, hinging forward, halfway down into ragdoll, letting gravity pull your head down so you feel that nice stretch, especially through the back of the neck. And then pressing into the floor and lifting, inhaling, and exhaling. You might feel when you come up that deep inhalation, that little bit of a curve to your back, the natural back bend of your in-breath, and then exhale, and the arms come down. Now my arms feel like they're going to float upward. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes, and scan your body. Notice how you feel. Perhaps you feel your blood circulating, or the movement of energy, or perhaps your body feels lighter and taller. Maybe you feel more centered. Just acknowledge the sensation, whatever it is. Make a mental note. Leave out any criticism. Now we're going to do another forward bend. Feet hip distance apart. And then take one foot more than a foot, maybe 2 footsteps forward. And stand tall at first. Breathe in. And then exhale, hinge forward, tuck the chin in, and come down to the floor. So this is another stretch for the back of the leg. It goes maybe a little bit into the lower back. So as you can see, I'm down as far as my fingertips. I'm going to take a breath and exhale and lower my upper body. So I'm putting a little bit of my upper body on the thigh, back of my neck stretching again. This can be called the pyramid. I'm going to turn my heel outward so both feet are facing forward. Remember, take care of your knees. Listen. So you see, as I'm sinking into the posture, the muscles are stretching and my hands are coming closer to the floor. This is what typically happens after you warm up. The muscles become more elastic. Now we're going to put the weight back toward the back foot. Chin is still tucked in. We're going to uncurl upward. You'll bring the hips forward slightly, roll the shoulders back into place, and stand tall. And breathe. Now, coming back into Tadasana, moving your feet however you wish. Okay. So now the other foot comes forward, a good 2 footsteps, and the feet are still hip distance apart. I'm going to tuck in and fold over, sink down. Remember, I'm lining up the knee with the armpit, looking through between the legs. And now the other leg is getting a nice, easy stretch into the calf, the hamstring. I feel very little here, but it's different for everyone. So when you exhale, that's when you can really let go of any muscle tension that you may be holding. Sometimes mentally we hold ourselves up by tightening, and the muscles are being used unnecessarily. So now I'm going to line up my back foot so both feet are pointed forward in the pyramid now. Little bit of softness to each knee. And then shifting my hips back, I'm going to slowly press off. Uncurl upward, the hips move slightly forward, shoulders roll back into place. And you can take a step forward. Whew. And notice how you feel. We're going to take a very short break, and then we'll return to Cherryblossom Yoga. We'll be on the floor for some floor postures and stretches, and we'll be right back.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
You've messed up your son's haircut. Do you try to fix it? Work with what you've got? Or show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to Cherryblossom Yoga. We're going to go on to our backs and do some leg stretches. I know this is difficult if you're seated, but you might be able to do some of the movements while seated with your legs outstretched, or simply follow the breathing. I mean, that's the basis of yoga, is following the breath and becoming more centered. So come down to the floor if you're able, or picture yourself doing this in your mind. That also has an effect, according to the yogis. So on your back, heels, the feet lined up with the sit bones, and arms resting alongside of your body. We're going to press the feet into the mat. At the same time, tighten up the buttock muscles and point the tailbone upward. You'll feel your waist flatten to the floor, as well as the lumbar area of your spine. This is your out breath. You're pulling your belly down. And inhale, the belly rounds with the air, the natural arch returns to your spine, and then exhaling, there's that push of the feet, Squeezing the buttocks, pointing the tailbone up. You can even press the feet down and push the hips up into easy bridge, forming a straight line from the knees down to the shoulders. But coming down again, keep the tailbone up as long as possible. See if you can feel each one of the vertebrae one by one touching the floor. Then you release the tailbone last of all and rest. But this simple push and contraction of the buttocks is very, very good for massaging the lower back muscles and also for toning the buttock muscles. So next we're going to bring the right knee in, both hands on the shin, and draw the knee in toward the shoulder or the armpit. Now notice the elbows, they're down, squeezing, and then extending the arms, releasing. Exhaling, squeezing, inhaling, releasing. So now you're massaging the right side of the lower back. And bring the foot down. Bring the left leg up, again aligning the knee with the armpit, the elbows down, squeezing as you exhale, and releasing as you inhale. So of course, you want to be on a surface that's not hard, so your back has some cushioning to it. And a lot of my students, and I do it as well, I'll put a blanket on top of the mat if the surface underneath is really hard. And bring the left foot down, right leg up, squeeze the leg in. This time open the leg. Walk your hands down as close as you can get to the ankle. Drop the elbows in and gently pull the ankle in the direction of the shoulder. Now you can pull like this and you see my lower back comes off the floor. Or I can keep the lower back pressed, and using the strength of my arms I get a much more intense pull. So I'm going to let the leg go out, and then I'm inhaling, and then before it touches I exhale. Focus right here on the navel, walk the hands down, and pull the leg over or up. Now some people can't reach this far. That's fine. Put one hand behind the hamstrings, the other behind the calf, dropping those elbows and letting the legs sink down. And bring the foot down to the floor. Switch to the other leg. Squeeze and open and gently pull. And again, notice if your lower back is lifting off the floor, or if you want to try to keep the lower back down and get that more intense stretch, relying more on the strength of your arms. And one more time. So that might be a little fast. You can try it on your own, going much more slowly. Remember, you're centered here at the navel. Those are the muscles right through here that are doing the work. And one more version. Pulling the leg up or in, and then opening the leg, flexing the foot with the ankle above the hip. Breathe in and lower. Lower very slowly. And hold just above the floor. Firm up that buttock. Right leg, right buttock, strong flex in the foot, and then release. And take a breath before you go to the other side. Left knee in, squeeze, open the leg, bring the ankle above the hip with the foot flexed. Breathe in and lower. Strong flex, lots of tension going into the left buttock, the calf. Point the big toe back at the knee. Right side is relaxed. And release. And then straighten out the right leg. Turn the palms up. You're in Shavasana, the corpse. And breathe. And this is a moment for resting, relaxation, and receiving the benefits of the yoga postures, the asanas, the coordinated breathing and stretching, all work together to quiet the mind and relax the body. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your belly with your breath, which flows smoothly and evenly into your body and out. If you wish, bring your arms over your head. Take a deep breath. Give yourself a really good stretch. And then bring your feet up slightly to the side. Push off. Roll onto your side with your head resting on your arm and your knees tucked in. Pressing your left hand or your top hand, into the floor. Slowly spiral to the front into a seated position, last of all, leveling your head and sitting tall. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're feeling wonderful, and I hope you can carry that feeling with you into your day, into your week, and into your life. Namaste.